Okay, so just imagine this for a second. A world where that soulful, gut-wrenching ache you hear in a blues song, well, what if it didn't come from a human voice at all, but from an algorithm? That's exactly the frontier we're exploring today, this wild intersection where human creativity and artificial intelligence are literally composing the future of music.
I mean, just listen to those words. It feels so raw, right? So personal, just full of heartache. But here's the kicker. What if I told you the voice singing it isn't actually human? And that, right there, is the real question. Who, or maybe more like what, is behind this music?
Well, the soul behind these words, that human element, that comes from a Southern writer named Victor Spooner. He's the one providing the story, while the AI, well, the AI provides the voice. He's the man behind the machine, so to speak.
So this incredible collaboration has a name, Lone Tree Burning. And really, you should think of it less like a traditional band and more like a partnership, a partnership between a writer and an algorithm. And what they're creating is this sound that's somehow familiar. It's country, it's blues, but it's also something completely and totally new.
So here's the breakdown of how this whole thing actually works. Spooner, who's based out of Savannah, he writes these lyrics that are often pretty funny and totally autobiographical. Then, the AI takes that text and just generates everything else. We're talking the vocal performance, all the instruments, the entire sound. It is a genuine fusion of a human story and machine execution. Now that name, Lone Tree Burning, it's super evocative, isn't it? It really paints a picture. But it's definitely not just some random name he pulled out of a hat. No, there's a really deep literary story behind it.
So yeah, that's the big question. Why Lone Tree Burning? Why did Spooner land on that specific image for this project? What's it all supposed to represent?
Well, the answer actually comes from one of Spooner's literary heroes, none other than the legendary Cormac McCarthy. It comes from a single, incredibly powerful line in his super stark masterpiece, Blood Meridian.
And for Spooner, this was it. This was the perfect metaphor. He sees that single burning tree as this incredible symbol for what just one person, when they're armed with AI, can create. It's like a singular, brilliant beacon of art in this huge, empty landscape.
Okay, so we've got the concept down. We know the backstory. But what does this man-machine music actually sound like, right? Let's dive into some of the songs.
A lot of the time, Spooner just draws from his own life. He focuses on these funny, slice-of-life stories from right there in his hometown of Savannah, Georgia.
Just take these lyrics, for example, from the song Little White Rocket. I mean, you can immediately picture that scene, can't you? It's just so witty, so observant, and it paints this perfect picture of like a country club flirtation. It's a classic Southern story, just, fed into a machine.
But it's not all about Jags and golf courses. Not at all. The project also has this really deep, emotional, introspective side to it, and it just goes to show you the surprising artistic range we're dealing with here. I mean, listen to these lines from the song Prodigal. Wow. That is a world away from those witty country club stories, right? This is just raw, honest reflection. And it proves that this technology is capable of delivering both Spooner's humor and his vulnerability with this equally convincing power. And this ability to create such a huge range of music so easily, it isn't just a cool, personal, artistic tool for one guy. No, this is a sign of a massive, disruptive shift that's happening across the entire music industry. Spooner really puts it bluntly. I mean, he's saying this is a permanent change. AI music generation is here to stay, and it's making the tools of creation available to pretty much anyone with a keyboard. Yeah, the genie is definitely out of the bottle.
But what does that democratization actually mean for musicians? Well, Spooner kind of predicts a split. On one side, you have the established stars. They're going to use AI to become even more prolific, just leveraging the fame they already have. But on the other side, new artists, even really talented ones, they risk getting completely lost in what he calls a tsunami of songs being uploaded every single day.
So his advice to traditional musicians is pretty blunt. You have to adapt. He basically argues that refusing to use AI just on principle, you're just needlessly holding back your own career in this new landscape. As he says, no one can afford to be a weird purist anymore.
But don't mistake that pragmatism for a lack of respect. Not at all. He's really quick to say how much he admires the craft and dedication of human musicians. He even admits he's a terrible guitarist himself and is just in awe of their talent.
And all of this kind of brings us full circle, right back to that powerful Cormac McCarthy metaphor and what it really means for all of us. standing here at the dawn of this completely new age.
So McCarthy's full passage, it describes this group of people just mesmerized by the fire. Their eyes form a constellation of ignited eyes that edge the ring of light, all of them bound in this precarious truce before this torch whose brightness had set back the stars. It's this image of a new, powerful light that's so bright it literally outshines the stars themselves.
And really, that's Spooner's final point. We are all those people, right? We're all gathered around the edge of that growing light of AI, just kind of staring at it, wondering what it all means. So the question isn't if it's going to change our world. The real question is, how is it going to change us?